This is what we covet. This is the world leader #1 for Seven Wonders Duel. Tony got it for the first time in June, but they already had it under the account Silent Protest in 14 December the year prior. Now, each different players have had #1 at different times, but as soon as they get it, their names are listed on here, all the way back to Indica, and even prior to that, there were different players, including Pistol Star had it at one point. So, let's see, Leon's had it right there, Hassan has had it, Luffy has had it, but way back here, in January 2021, Frankenstain had it, and kept it for a very long time, giving it away every once in a while to a player. But as soon as this expansion came out of Agora, we have Frankenstain staying ahead of the game, and other players kind of feeling like, well, I either need to figure out Agora, or so that I can be at these higher ELO rankings, or not. And I could go through Board Game Arena and show you different games from Coup to Carcassonne with different skill levels of, or just a tic-tac-toe type of skill level where your highest ELO is not going to be higher than a 200 level, right? But as you increase the complexity of a game, the highest ELO will rise, and adding Agora increases the complexity so that very few players can beat them unless they also learn that complexity. So if nobody can beat you, you're going to rise up in the ranks, and that's what we see happening here, because a lot of these top players all are playing the both expansions, adding an extreme amount of complexity to the game. So we see here, we just finished the game #4. We are moving into game #5. So let's continue on with this Clash of Titans. Game ended at with Tony at 8-13, but they just won a match. So now, where will they be here? Let's see how it all plays out. We're going into game 5. Such a beautiful game. Antoine Boza, Bruno Cathala, geniuses in their own right to have made such an amazing game. You can see their pictures right here. There's Antoine, there's Bruno Cathala. Gotta give praise to them. And now we go into game #5. So Frankenstain at 8:55. Tony got a little bit of a jump from the last one, from winning that 4th game, but they were on a losing streak for a while there. Let's take a look at the wonders that we have out there. And I'm thinking Hanging Gardens gets taken first. Looks like Tony's going to start this game. And after that, Circus Maximus and Sanctuary are likely going to be taken. And from there, we can look at the pyramid. So, yeah, we'll see that side of the pyramid. We're looking at maybe the gray card gets taken. And the other side of the pyramid, we're looking at maybe the wood reserve gets taken. So 2 of 4 yellow cards revealed, 1 of 5 politicians, or we have a politician revealed, but 1 of 5 senators revealed. Now, looking at the Senate, speaking of that, if this is taken first, is this a good one to take? I think the +2 coins is a good gamble. We don't see the shield revealed, so it would make sense not to willy-nilly grab a face-down decree token. You don't want to accidentally get that shield. And Tony is going to start. Hanging Gardens will be taken by Tony. Let's see how that plays out. The very first turns of the game, I'm thinking Wood Reserve for a first turn. No. Definitely take that political thing first. The political senator right there. Get that decree token. And then, maybe not wanting to reveal anything, Frankenstain will take the press to allow all but this card to reveal something, and maybe the Tavern gets revealed for Tony or for Frankenstain. That may be what they're hoping for. So I predict boom Tony, boom Frankenstain, and then boom Tony, boom Frankenstein, revealing Tavern to Tony. That's my prediction for how the first age will go. Also kind of nice that this wood card doesn't cost any coins. All right, well, let's step into game number 5. All right, here we go. So, Tony, like we thought, Frankenstein is going to take Circus Maximus and Sanctuary. Odd order, but doesn't matter there. Frankenstein going to take Curia Julia. And then also they're going to get a conspiracy with that. With that conspiracy, the political maneuver. We've seen the political maneuver happen in this series of the Clash of Titans. We'll see how that plays out here. Now, Tony got Divine Theater and Mausoleum, both very good ones to end on. Okay, and we're seeing that Frankenstein is taking the gray card like we suspected, but Tony is going to allow for potentially the Tavern or a good card to be revealed. Nope, no good card was revealed, but Tony not wanting to be behind in coins in this game. They've seen it happen before, they're not going to let it happen again, and now their discard rate for coins is going to be 5 coins per discard, an incredible amount. Now, Frankenstein is going to construct the query for free, and then get rid of 5 coins there. Okay, Frankenstein actually going for science for the first time. Maybe they see the strategy and they think, ooh, that's what I want. Maybe they value strategy even higher than theology, especially in this setup where only one of their wonders is an extra turn. So they're thinking this is a great time to grab strategy. And no, 2 of their wonders were extra turns, sorry. Anyways, Tony getting a ton of coins, 5 coins from yet another discard. Frankenstein really quickly pulling out a political maneuver because they say, get out of there, stop discarding for extra coins. I'm going to take that away immediately. And then very early on using the political maneuver. Sometimes people like to wait on those conspiracies because if you wait on them prepared, the other player doesn't know what you have. You may have extortion. They may start willy-nilly building their wonders early because they're afraid. All right, so Tony going to build Hanging Gardens, and from that, they're not even going to, they're just doing that just to be able to take, appears just a stone, and also being able to decide where Ra goes. So maybe they wanted to place something really terrible near Frankenstein, likely Isis is next to Frankenstein at this point. I wish there was a way to pause this so we could guess, but once we're starting in, we're starting in. So Frankenstein going to choose another conspiracy. This time it's coup. So coup and the political maneuver, which has already been used. Coup, very good to use towards the very end when you're very close to winning in military, and then you pull it off and do a big gotcha. All right, so Tony going to discard the Palisade 3 coins, getting the mythology token, Phoenician gods, and putting it close to their opponent. Probably they put the 7 coin one close to their opponent. Frankenstein recruiting Conspirator and using it just for its cube for the first time. Doubling down on that, making their wonders be cheaper. Okay, so they're realizing that they don't have glass and all their wonders cost glass, so they're going to make that glass not be an issue. All right, Frankenstein getting to choose who starts the next age, and Frankenstein choosing themselves. You generally choose yourself to go first in age 2. The gate, they're going to maybe get Ra, potentially. Yep, they got Ra and taking away the Divine Theater. Yes. That's a very good take. Take Divine Theater, and I'll move my head so you all can see where we're sitting with wonders. Curia Julia still unbuilt. Tony going to take the drawing room. Both players having a papyrus. Now, Frankenstein making the first moves in military. They really favor that in military. And maybe they're even hoping that they can get that feather at the very middle there, at the very back. But, ooh, getting a ton of coins. But that feather would give them strategy. All right. But on the other hand, each player has a potential at getting a progress token here. Each player has a linking symbol from H1 science card. Tony going to activate Ball, stealing Iris, making most of Frankenstein's wonders cost more. Frankenstain going to discard Shelf Quarry for 4 coins. Tony going to construct the Forum for 3 coins. Frankenstein building Curia Julia. Which one are they going to activate? Likely Coup. They're going to just build the Coup. For free, they didn't have to even prepare Coup, but that's the beauty of Curia Julia. And doing that, they are now able to get a political senator out there. Plus, they get to place out one more senator with the new card that they just revealed. And not wanting to lose in military, a 1 shield is taken from Tony. Frankenstein sees 2 white senators, chooses to cover up one of them with Sanctuary. There are 3 divinities still out there, so Sanctuary could pay off, but really that was just so that they could take both of those senators, I'd imagine. And then now, Frankenstein loses out on getting the strategy that they love. And Tony ends up taking the strategy token, even though they are losing in military. It's a common thing when you're losing in military. You want to grab strategy so that you can take 1 or 2 military cards to stay afloat and survive. Also, Tony taking Minerva to protect themselves, but Frankenstein quickly building Circus Maximus, and that destroying the gray card and taking out that Minerva. Now, Frankenstein discarding the Temple, getting 4 coins. It's a good discard rate. Both players at 4 discarded coins each time because that +2 Senate is contested. Frankenstein going to get the library for free and getting an okay progress token, just a 6 coiner, 4 points with agriculture. Tony going to activate Zeus. Oh, I always find Zeus to be an interesting activation. Now, that allowed Frankenstein to get Customs House, a really powerful one, especially when you're missing out on the papyrus that was stolen from you. Then Frankenstein going to take a Laboratory, just 1 coin, and both players playing a little bit into the science, each getting progress tokens. Frankenstein, since they have 2 science already, I wonder what the thought was to take that science. Maybe they're thinking that they could get Nisaba with Divine Theater and Law with Great Library. That could pull off a science win, potentially. So we'll see how that ends up playing out. Also, Mausoleum is still in Tony's hand. Maybe that gets Rod. I don't know. I don't know why that choice to take the science, but we're back in. Tony is placing influence cubes out there. The Senate is almost fully controlled by Frankenstein at this point, except for the bottom section, that right section. And now Tony does have a high discard rate with that +2 discard Senate area. Now Frankenstein getting 1 of 3 different grand temples. All right, using a card to construct the Divine Theater. What are they going to choose? Is it going to be a Greek mythology? So is it going to be the 9 points? Yes. So the 9 points plus the 2 points of Divine Theater, that being an 11-point turn, a huge jump in points. We'll look at the points right now from each player. Top right, we've got 3 coins and 30 points from Tony, and then 4 coins and 26 from Frankenstein. But the game goes on. Frankenstein going to take Engineering, okay, from the box. How did they do that? Oh yeah, with Great Library. Since that's constructed, Mausoleum now can no longer be constructed. You see above me only 2 wonders from Tony. Now, Tony going to construct the Siege Workshop, and they're pushing now in military. And it's looking like that makes it so a political victory is not going to be secured by Tony. At this point, we start guessing who is going to win this one and how. And Frankenstein going to get the Roman Grand Temple for 2 of 3. So they're going to have a 7-point up in temple points. And then Tony is going to get some points. So we're sitting at 41 points, Tony. Frankenstain, 37 points. And endgame points, Astarte of 6 coins for Frankenstain. So it would appear that my guess would be I'm putting my money on Frankenstain winning this one. We just got a jump of a bunch of coins, 19 coins. That will be a huge, important roll there. And then Tony discarding a conspirator for 8 coins. They can get a lot more points if they just discard for coins, I guess, rather than spending their coins. And then bam, Tony actually, since no extra turns, they are able to pull off a push in military. But that's going to get them 10 bonus points in military and some more points in political. Let's see how it all plays out. We saw that 7-point differential in the Grand Temples, 2-point differential in Wonders, 10 points obviously with Tony winning in military. But yeah, it was so close that game. I liked that game. That was a very close margin there, but came down to points as the 5th game in this scenario, and this time Frankenstein pulls it off. So thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you all enjoyed this 5th game, and we're going to move on into the 6th game. This time I'll add music to it, but see you next time.